when he was
Eljay says
Yeah,
he
never
needs to bid goodbye, so because he has to go catch gophers.
Right.
He says, "Nice meeting you, Varks."
And I say nice meeting you too, LJ.
He cannot hear you.
Yeah, well, he'll hear me on the recording.
Right. LJ's gonna miss the Nerf subject.
Alright, well, there's a transition between subjects, so this is where I'm gonna sign off.
Alright. See ya, LJ and Varks. Nice seeing you. We had a pretty nice turnout for this episode, more than we've had before. The most we've had in the past is 4 people, and right then we had I think we had 5 people.
5 for a few minutes.
Yes.
Alright.
Alright, well, it was great meeting you all.
Gotta come back sometime.
I will hopefully come back, yeah. And I will talk to you all later.
See you.
Alright, bye.
Alright, see ya.
Bye.
Now on to our third segment, Nerf Zombiestrike. So, a lot, and I mean a lot of things were released a couple weeks ago. Meso and I did an episode on this, but since it was just him and me and it was only like 10 minutes long or something like that, we decided not to post it and wait until we had some more people to talk about it.
You decided not to post it. I said post it because it's better to have consistent content.
Nobody cares. I was just fooling, Meso. I didn't hurt your feelings, did I?
My spirit's crushed.
Okay, so everybody knows there was a release of 2 guns, the Hammershot and the Sledgefire, but an interesting thing that happened was there was a massive release. Now let me see if I can grab the link for this. 5 new blasters, as well as a sword, a Enforce sword was released for this, and I kind of already gave my thoughts on this. I'm gonna try and say them again as good as I did before. When you first click on the link, the first thing is just like bam right there, an awesome looking dart shooting crossbow, and Nerf has just had a thing for bows. They've been releasing them non-stop, mostly. Almost the entire Rebel lineup is of bows. They have the Mega Blazing bow. They recently released the Big Bad bow, and now they've got this Crossfire bow. So there's quite a bit of bows here.
Bows are the way to
awesome.
go.
Even without the crossbow parts, it still looks amazing. I have an interest in seeing somebody mod this without the crossbow parts, because it basically, I think it looks very much like a plasma rifle. If everybody here listening knows what that is.
You mean the one from Halo? Ha ha!
You're a funny guy.
I may have heard of it once or twice.
So the next thing...
that awkward silence.
There is a smaller one called the Sidestrike, which essentially I have zero interest in, except for the fact that it's green and it comes with a holster. Basically, it's just a remake of the Fire Strike, except for it has a sliding cocking mechanism instead of a direct plunger that comes out from the back. It has a sliding mechanism that comes back forward, a reverse plunger. So it also has a tactical rail on the bottom, which serves no purpose, because who would want to put a foregrip on a pistol? I have no idea. It would also make it impossible to put it in the holster. But it's green.
Yeah.
It's green. Just got to be pointed out. It's green. The last 3 are all Vortex blasters, which is an interesting move for Nerf, because they've never done a real crossover. I mean, the Lighted Up series had Lumitron and the Raven. However, that wasn't really a whole series. It only had 2 blasters. But this is a huge lineup, and they're doing an interesting blend of the 2 different things. And then they've also got the Enforce, so they're pretty much pulling everything they possibly could. They've got crossbows, they've got normal blasters, they've got Vortex, and N-Force all in one huge wave, so it's kind of interesting. I'm hoping it doesn't flop, however, there are a few things that I don't like about this. The repetitiveness of this, the Rip Shot and the Ricochet, they're two smaller blasters that, as far as I can see, are exactly the same thing as the Vigilon/Proton, except for they're different shaped. They serve the same purpose, they fire the same distance, they have a different amount of ammo. The Ricochet is smaller and does one shot, so it might be a slight improvement upon the Proton, although not enough for me to go buy it because I already have the Proton and I'm already happy with it. The Rip Shot is basically a downsized, or actually it's a little bit bigger version of the Proton, and it has 3 discs in the front. It cannot fire all these. It's basically the same thing as how the Fire Strike has extra darts in the bottom that you have to move. So Hasbro has added this feature where you can hold extra discs in the front, which is kind of cool, but again, not enough for me to go buy another one to replace my Proton because I already have a pouch for extra discs, so I don't really have a great need for this. The only one that mildly piques my interest is the Fuse Fire, because it has a total of 6 shots, which is pretty decent for a sidearm, and it also, the discs are light up, which are awesome because I love light up stuff. And it has an interesting thing across the top. It looks like it glows in the dark, although I'm not sure. It's a tactical rail, I think, and I'm not sure if it lights up, but that'd be cool if it did. So yeah. And then lastly, the sword. And basically not much can be said except it's a sword.
Looks pretty shway.
So what are your thoughts, Meso and Jeyo?
These all look pretty shway.
I'm thinking that, yeah, they look cool, but if the majority of them are pretty much copies or remakes of previous guns, I'm thinking it's just a way for them to get more money without having to spend money on new molds and new designs. They're just kind of tweaking some stuff, repainting it, and releasing it under a different heading.
So there was a thing on a website called My Last Dart. They're another popular informer of Nerf, and somebody did something called I don't even remember what it was called, but they did a remake of the blasters. They recolored these and basically said they had an idea in their mind, kind of a joke of what was probably going on in the minds of the engineers who designed these. And they basically said the CEO came and said I had to completely repaint all the old blasters so we can release them as Zombiestrike because nobody likes the original Vortex guns. So they did a repaint, and actually almost all of these, aside from the crossbow and possibly the Fuse Fire, all of them look like they could have been released as Elite/normal Vortex blasters, and they would have fit in perfectly. There's nothing that really makes them feel like they're part of the Zombiestrike line. There isn't any of that fancy plastic around the handle that makes it look like bandages. It doesn't really scream zombies. However, I will say the bow does. Although not a ton, it does kind of feel more like it, although the others do not really look a whole lot like it. That said, aside from the bow and possibly the Fuse Fire, I will not be purchasing any other ones because all the other ones are basically just redesigns of my Fire Strike and my Proton and don't really serve a good new purpose.
And I think the color scheme could be a little bit more dramatic.
I do not like the putrid green. I have to say that's how I can really describe it. The Side Strike is fine, but the Rip Shot and the Ricochet have this really ugly shade of green that's a little bit darker than the Vortex line, and I don't like it, and especially do not like it with the bits of white, black, and bright orange. It does not work. It's almost as bad as the Sledge Fire's blue and bright orange, but they're still pretty bad.
Yeah, I think the green on its own doesn't look that bad, or maybe if it was mixed with black or something, kind of like the tech recon guns.
Because then
but
they have to work with all the cases of possibly lawsuits with people claiming they're real guns and stuff.
Maybe, but just with the orange, the majority of it orange, and then the slight hints of green, and then like you said with the black and white, or gray, and then the hints of brown, it does look quite ugly. The designs are cool, but the color just looks bad.
Yeah.
So your thoughts besides they are shui?
Some are unshui. That's all I have to say.
The sword isn't bad looking.
Not at all. The sword's pretty good, but you know, it's a sword.
It's the first time we've seen a release of a Enforce weapon since like 2008, I think.
That is
so
very
it's kind of
true.
cool to have it come back.
Yeah.
However, that being said, you can't really release a whole lot besides a sword or an axe or something. So
Make like look like a
they need a
scimitar, machete.
Yeah, because that would fit the line. Though I'm not going to complain a whole lot because I've never really liked the idea of Enforce because I have a friend who has an Enforce sword who will not stop hitting me with it whenever I let him. Whenever I allow it to be used in a Nerf war, what he'll do is he'll run up to me and just beat the crap out of me with it, and sometimes he'll even throw it at me. So I can't really stand the Enforce stuff because it can be so abused and it really kills the idea of Nerf being. It's like it's meant to be guns. It just doesn't quite fit. I don't have huge complaints about it.
Yeah.
I think it looks cool, but I'd never buy it. I'd never buy any Enforce stuff before. I don't think.
But Joe, it's Enforce.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why I'm not buying.
All right.
The bow is pretty shui. The fused fire is pretty shui. The rest is pretty repetitive and kind of lame.
I think the bow is incredible way. Let's carry on. What else is there?
The only thing I have to complain about the bow is the fact that it only has 4 shots. Which, as cool as it is, and the fact that I have a feeling this thing will shoot hard because it has the string slamming it forward, and the fact that you could probably mod it to have the drawback be even farther. A modded version of this would be deadly in a Nerf war. However, the amount of ammo versus its size is not so great.
Yep.
Because it has only 4 shots, which is not great because that's basically a sidearm. A strong arm has more shots than this. However, because of its distance, it's probably going to be good, and its modding capabilities would be also fantastic.
And it will look intimidating. So I suppose that somewhat makes up for its lack of ammo, but not too much in the long run.
Because it's not official yet, but I have a feeling it will become official. And there's not a whole lot about it. The pictures for it are terrible, but I have a feeling it'll get better later on. So it's the ATAP.
Oh yeah, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
what
do you think about that?
I'm not sure I want to talk about it right now.
It makes you.
Let me just say,
sad.
All right, segment for UTAP for Star Wars. It is very unshui. I do not like it hardly at all. Mainly because they are charging $60 for what they made for $20 4 years ago.
Wait,
only benefits
that thing's $60?
That's what I said.
I would never pay $60.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't pay more than maybe $30, even taking into consideration the quality or the raise in prices nowadays. It's not at all worth it, at all. Even if it were pretty good, it's still not worth it.
Link? Is there a link?
Completely forgot about you, Jeyo. I'm sorry.
Now I'm not the only one starting these silences.
Wait.
Oh, that thing. That is $60?
Yes. That is exactly what I said. No, actually, I'm wrong. It's 70.
What? Are you kidding?
No, you can see right here. It says it will be released March 2014 at $69.99 US.
That's awful. What is this? It must have like a really good internal body design or something.
It apparently has 700 pieces.
Oh.
If
Well, yeah,
this
that's a crazy.
that is coming with this set, I am not going to be happy. It better come with some like huge giant droid thing, because if this is all the set, okay, yeah, I'm not. I think it looks.
So like $700 for $70. That's like what?
Okay, let me put it this way: you could get an ATTE that recently came out that is essentially this, except for it has another 5 legs. No, 3 legs, twice the size, and way better array of minifigures for $90. Add $20 and you get something twice this size. I mean, at least on the outside.
Yeah.
Even if this thing has a large appearance on the inside, I have always been a fan of sets like the Typhoon, where Lego uses the space well. They cover up gaps inside in order to make it more cost effective, and it has the appearance of looking bigger, and it still fulfills the purpose. This is the same price as the Typhoon was when it came out. Is there any question as to which one you would buy?
I think I'd buy this.
If I had the money, the Typhoon.
The Typhoon is only 500 pieces, and yet it has the appearance of being 3 or 4 times bigger than this.
And then I'd probably get Gree on Bricklink. Clone Commander Gree, the guy sitting at the main gun.
That is not Gree. I do not believe.
Yes, that is Gree.
Does it say it is? Does it say it is Gree?
Joev, look at a picture of Gree from the movie and compare it to this minifigure.
It just seems very common of Lego to just make a random minifigure and not. Okay, it looks like Gree. It's good enough. However, $70 even for the good fig or
only
even
Gree
for the figs
has a silver helmet, a green visor, and then all that other green stuff on it. All the other troop. Oh, but anyways, that is Gree.
That is not worth $70. Let's just drop it there.
I think it is.
What?
I do.
You think it's worth 70?
I do. I'd pay 80. I think it's a masterpiece. It probably has like a living room inside of it, complete with table, chairs, couch, TV, working electricity, kitchen.
It better come with a time machine so I can go back and get my money. Or forward and get it for a decent price.
Wow.
Honestly, what do you think about that price?
I think it's awful.
I know. I think this is maybe worth 30 tops. This thing is not that big at all. I think it looks it's not even that great in design quality. I mean, it's basically an AT-RT with an extra leg.
Yep.
I bet they did that. They just like took the AT-RT. It's like, hey guys, AT-RT with another leg. Let's make it $70 and see how many people fall for it.
Yep.
Come on,
I think the price is so high because they are including Gree.
All right, moving on to our next.
There's another segment.
Yes, one more, and this is why I said I wasn't sure if I wanted to wait until next week to discuss that. But I think we entertained our guests. And
I hope you don't cut out anything about Gree.
Nobody cares about Gree because he's in a $70.
Gree. What's left?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Nobody cares about a lot of things.
I'm gonna preface the explanation of what this is by it's pretty shway, and that's all I have to say.
Okay. Segment 5. There is this interesting thing I found online, ironically from Urban Taggers, a Nerf website, about a Lego topic. There's this book called the BrickGun book, which basically it shows you how to build working Lego guns that actually fire bullets. or Lego bricks in this case. And the design for this is quite amazing. It actually has the sliding mechanism. It has a working trigger and a safety, all with Legos. And it actually fires.
Pretty awesome.
And it fits into your hand. And most of them are pistols, but it's just amazing how they worked this in. And I think I actually have the correct bricks to build this. If not, I will be buying some of them. And hopefully there's something online because I'm not going to pay. Now this is the killer that makes me not sure if I want to get this. It's $20 for this book.
I'd say it's worth it.
So they're life-size guns made of Lego. Life-size working guns.
Precisely. That you can shoot your siblings with.
Ah.
Well.
Pretty shway, that's all I have to say.
So, I will be posting a link. Urban Taggers, for advertising this, has got a special discount. So anyone who reads this, there's a code that you type in. You type Taggers, Taggers, when you check out, and you will get $10 off. So it's originally $30, but with the discount, it'll be $20, which I think is an okay price, considering this is produced by a third-party group. It's not actually produced by the Lego company, so they have to be able to make some decent money off of this.
They did.
Yup.
If the Lego company made this kind of thing, they'd be in some trouble with parents, I'm assuming.
Some kid. Well, so long.
After all, little kids must be protected from guns.
Zamor launchers. Might Sky Blasters. Kodak Blasters.
Can I finish? So long as they have the little picture of the kid getting shot in the head with the do not symbol over it, everything's okay.
Kanoka launchers.
You wanna know the... Wait, what? Those things didn't hurt at all. You wanna know what hurts?
What?
Max?
The Ratuka launchers.
Well.
What?
If you know how to use them right, if you position them vertically and rip those things go like 40 feet. Because everyone I know always points them up and they don't go very far. But if you do it vertically, if you angle them so it's going side to side and it'll actually shoot off straight, it goes like 40 or 50 feet. Those things are deadly.
Interesting.
Vertical is up. You said most people angle them up, but if you angle them vertically...
Vertically, so it fires. It shoots horizontally, it's pointed so that it's going... Do you get what I'm saying? So
I do.
It fires to the side instead of straight up, because everyone I know always just shoots them straight up.
Right, so the trick with that is to get underneath somebody and then pull it so it hits them in the chin.
Yeah.
No.
That's
Angle them
equally viable.
horizontally.
Yeah, I know.
And then it hits them in the chest and knocks them over.
Right.
And then you hit them in the chin. That being said, I think we have pretty much come to the end of this, and our conclusion is that Ratuka launchers hurt, and let's hope this thing does too.
Yes.
So
Well,
I'd
if
very
it doesn't, it wouldn't be sure.
highly recommend going out and getting this. Again, the code is TAGGERS, and if you type it in, you will get $10 off of this, and it totally makes it worth it. I'm going to be going out and hopefully doing a review on this. I'm going to buy the pieces for this because I'm guessing it probably costs like maybe 10-15 bucks off BrickLink to buy the pieces to build this, and I'm very eager to see how it works.
Yeah. Seems interesting.
And with that, I think we have come to our conclusion.
You sure?
The
Do you want to go for
episode.
another hour?
You're funny, Mess, so don't be ridiculous.
I'm a regular old jokester.
Then we might cross the mark of our longest episode, and we can't have that.
No, we can't.
So, another interesting thing that Jeyo just posted, I was like, okay, fine, you're right, okay. I know it's Commander Green. I watched the series, I watched the movies, I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, I know what I'm talking. Yes, I know it's green. I'm just saying that LEGO might have named it not green, because you know they always do stuff like that where they don't get figures right.
Thank you all for
Right.
listening. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, we have a celebration.
Oh, come on.
have
Not
time to
this
celebrate
again.
because we didn't do it for the past 2 weeks. We crossed over the 100 subscribers mark. Actually, now we have almost 150 subscribers, and we were meant to have a cheer for the 50,000 subscribers mark, and we just crossed over the 80,000 subscribers mark. So
Yeah.
not subscribers, 80,000
Party over here.
views, 80,000 views. So yeah, let's all cheer. 1, 2, 3, wahoo! You guys didn't do anything.
I'm not much for cheering. I
1, 2,
acknowledge
3,
that it was a
wahoo.
good. Right.
1,
It is a
2,
landmark, sure,
3, wahoo! You guys. I'll
Wahoo.
just splice it all together because.
No, do it again, do it again.
1, 2, 3, wahoo!
Wahoo.
You guys making me a fool of me. That's so.
Wahoo. Wahoo, excitement, cheer, fun. I'm so excited. Can't you just tell in my voice? I'm just bursting with confidence and excitement over this turn of events. This is amazing. Let's end it.
I will when they catch.
I concur.
I have control over when we can end it. It's your choice as to whether to give it an outro.
Okay then. Thank you for listening. This was our 15th episode of Infinite Inspiration Incorporated Facecast, and I was here with
Mesonak from the TTV podcast.
Jeyo from this podcast.
and we also had a couple more people. We had Varks, which was a guest who had to leave a little bit early, and we had Eljay, who didn't contribute hardly at all.
Contributed.
Maybe a little bit.
Double negative.
He provided for the comedic effect, and we got to tell him he was insane. Oh, speaking of which, there's something that
Oh, come
I
on.
absolutely have to say right before we go.
Bye.
Adios, amigos.